Cunningham is onlangs aangewys as Agri Wes-Kaap se Jongboer van die jaar. Hy boer met sagtevrugte en wyndruiwe op Elgin. En in vandag se episode van Plaas TV gesels hy oor die boustene van sy boerdery. Daarna gesels Anje Erasmus van Aartappels SA oor die jongste marktoestande. Maar eers, hier is Lise met die nuus.
Elanco, we are driven by our vision of food and companionship enriching life.
In vandag se nuus, volgens die jongste data van die Landboumasjinerie Assosiasie was trekkerverkope in Mei byna 36% hoër as die 554 eenhede wat verlede Mei verkoop is. Vir die jaar tot dusver is trekkerverkope nou byna 16% meer as verlede jaar. 53 stroopers is in Mei verkoop wat 18 eenhede meer is as die 35 eenhede wat in Mei verlede jaar verkoop is. Vir die jaar tot dusver is stroperverkope nou 29% meer as verlede jaar se verkope. World food commodity prices declined modestly in May for the second consecutive month, although wheat and poultry prices pushed higher. This is according to the latest report from the Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations. The food price index averaged 157.4 points in May 2022, which is 0.6% down from April. The cereal price index, however, increased by 2.2% from the previous month, led by wheat prices, which were up 5.6% from April and 56.2% from their corresponding value a year earlier. And Delheim Estate in the Stellenbosch area has entered an exciting new era following changes to its senior winemaking team. Roelof Lotriet has been promoted to cellar master, while Nontobeko Langa has been appointed to the role of winemaker. Nontobeko joined Delheim as an intern and became a full-time member of the team in 2019. She most recently worked in the position of assistant winemaker. And that's also today's news. The 37-year-old Ian Cunningham was recently crowned the Agri Wes-Kaap Young Farmer of the Year, and he joins us now. Ian, you have farms in Elgin and in Verliesdorp, but where are you originally from?
Jongboer. I was born in Ikopo, which is in the heart of the Natal Midlands. My stepfather farmed timber, beef and potatoes there. And then I attended Hilton College in Hilton, and from there on moved on to UCT in Cape Town. And we sold up our properties up there in 2009 and moved down to the Cape. And that's when my mother bought fine farms in Grabo. And I came back to the farm in 2013 after finishing up my business science at UCT and doing a year in Johannesburg with Standard Bank and then another 18 months with the PSG Asset Management. So I come from a financial background, no agricultural background, but our family has been in agriculture for three generations. I'm the fourth now.
So what is your main focus?
So you always want to deliver a quality product, but behind the quality product is quality of operations and quality of personnel. So, I have a mantra of sort of that fine farms, which is now Fed-in farms because of the acquisition of our other two properties, was first and foremost, we grew our people and then we grew our fruit. So for me, building a business that will last definitely through my lifetime and hopefully into my children's lifetime, that is hugely important for me. And in terms of my focus, it's just a relentless drive to get better and better. Whether that's, obviously in the agricultural front, but also in the social sphere of things.
And what do you produce, Ian?
We produce apples, pears, and wine grapes. So all the apples and pears are marketed and packed by Fruitways Marketing and Packing. And then we farm, the wine grapes go to Iona Winery in Elgin. And then there's a couple of little bespoke wineries that I supply some Chardonnay to as well.
Now, farming these days require extraordinary skills, the use of technology, precision farming. How do you keep up with the latest trends?
Lisa, listen, it's difficult. Every week you open up in a magazine and there's a new program for farmers to use. So, listen, you've got to do it by trial and error. I don't think you can just keep your head under a bush. We can't keep thinking that dad's way was right and grandpa's way was right. These tools are there to be used. So it's definitely trial and error. Some of them we've used and haven't worked for us, and some we have used and they've worked well. You've got to be conscious of the fact that when using these tools, there's an incredible amount of data that needs to be analyzed. So you can't just sit in the office going through the data. You've still got to be in your fields. So it's about trying to, make it as succinct as possible and get from the data what you want out. But bearing in mind, you can be completely overwhelmed by the amount of software and technical advances available to us.
Explain to us how your business works. Where exactly do you fit in?
So our business is Steadman Farms Pty Limited, of which I'm the managing director, and the business is owned by our family trust. So on Fine Farms, which has been the main production unit, I'm both the production manager and the director. So I've actually got an interesting structure. I've got a general manager above me, so I'm responsible for the day-to-day operations and production. But I report into him on production, but he reports into me on the farming level. And then High Noon, our new venture, that I am purely there as the managing director. I'm not involved in the actual day-to-day operations. I've got a full management team there that I've got to trust and not stand on their toes too much, but they're more being a sort of a guidance and technical advisor. So as much as we've got the two properties, I'm kind of indispensable on the primary property because I fulfill the function on a daily basis of production manager. I do split my time going through once a week to High Noon, sometimes twice a week, and just getting a lay of the land and a feel for what's going on, and see where we can improve on efficiencies and various measures.
What are the biggest challenges at the moment for you? The weather?
So, weather is climate change is real. There's no two ways about it. But, we kind of the price taker in that regard. There's nothing we can do about climate change other than trying to mitigate it going forward and monitor our carbon emissions. So, from our front, it's just about being a little bit smarter with irrigation and, improving plant pathology through creating a healthy ecosystem in the soil and hoping that the plant is more robust and able to tolerate extreme weather events, whether it's heat or hail or, frost. We have got drape nets up for helping mitigate sunburn on Granny Smith. Granny Smith, in a hot year, you can throw away between 40 and 50% straight to the juice factory, and you can't farm for that. The economics just don't make sense. So on our side, we do use drape nets. I know the guys in series use a lot of fixed structure net, but their issue there is a lot more hail and ice rain, so physical damage of the fruit, which we are very lucky to. We do get incidents of it in Krabo, but not as frequent as series. Yeah, then on the input side, it's been well documented the threefold increase in fertilizer costs, fuel costs. Again, we're a price taker, and it's just about being a bit smarter, using some of those technologies, such as variable rate spreading. Something that we are moving into heavily is a focus on soil health, which we hope, standing on the shoulders of ZZ2 and then Nativ boerdery, using compost and mulch, which would mitigate the cost of fertilizer, and creating, again, a robust ecosystem that just enables the plant to photosynthesize in a better way, in a more positive way. And with that, hopefully having to apply less nutrition and being able to mine the nutrition it needs from the soil in an effective manner.
When I read about you, I realized every team member is very important to you, and you would like to develop each and every one of them to reach their full potential. So how do you approach this?
So yeah, I mean, if you look at a wheel, there's many spokes to a wheel. It's not just the hub that holds it together. So in the full the full picture of the production, there's so many components to it. And for me, it's about being able to develop trust with one another, and by capacitating our staff to understand why we do various things. Why are we spraying this spray at this time of the year and not this product? Why are we pruning this way? Are we doing a heading cut at this time of the year? Are we doing a renewal cut? It's helping them to understand so that they can be capacitated to make the decisions on their own. Ultimately, I must just be here as the chairman or the captain steering the boat, but the actual nitty-gritty of pulling the levers, so to say, and pulling the sails up, that needs to be done by the staff. And through that, you create empowerment, and with the empowerment comes ownership. You want them to have as much ownership in the property as well, and in the dream. And by upskilling them and teaching them what you have learned, I think it only bodes well for the future. And that's what's incredibly important to me. It's a team game. There's no just this award that I won recently, that's not just about me, that's about our staff. And I sit at the head of the podium, lucky enough to receive the plaudits, but ultimately it comes down to them. I mean, the first thing I did on Friday was bring them the trophy and show it to them and just say, listen, I'm standing on the shoulders of your hard work. And I firmly believe that. And what's great is the staff believe it too. So, maybe we go from strength to strength in that regard. And again, I cannot say it enough, the staff are critical to our operation.
In closing, tell us about the family.
So my mum, Janine Richmond, she's retired. She still has a small role to play in the business, and I do consult her regularly. I am married to my wife, Inga, and we've got two beautiful boys, McGregor, who's 4 years old, and Harvey, that's 8 months old. So hence the bags under my eyes, lack of sleep. But no, very blessed to have two healthy boys. I don't think a farmer could ask for anything more than two prize little boys, so very blessed. And I'm privileged that my wife can work from home. She's not involved in the business. She's involved in with Wes-Kaap Health. So between the two of us, I often chat to her. She's a business analyst, and I run a lot of decisions and ideas through her, but then also from the social aspect on what we can do within our farm first, and then the greater society from a health aspect and social upliftment. I think it's a great combo between the two of us.
And that was Ian Cunningham, 37 years old, and he was recently crowned the Agri Wes-Kaap Young Farmer of the Year.
ABE Biotech. Fermentasie is gelyk aan prestasie.
Ek wil weer met die boere gesels, en natuurlik die boere sê almal maak net geld, en dis nie die waarheid nie. Maar een aandeel wat julle baie goed ken is Astral Foods. Hulle is betrokke by die vervaardiging van kuikens, hoenders, ek dink hulle doen ook eiers. En as jy kyk na hierdie prys, kyk net hierdie pragtige loopie van 150 na 190. Maar nou wil ek net vir boere waarsku. Kyk 'n bietjie wat sien ek hier. So ek sien hier 'n moontlike dubbelhoogte. Daar is die een lyntjie, ek wil hom net so intrek, en daar is die ander lyn. Julle sal sien, hierdie twee is baie naby aan mekaar. Dit gee 'n moontlike dubbelhoogte. Nou die eerste waarskuwing sal wees, as hy hierdie lyntjie breek, en daar is die lyntjie waarvoor ek sou versigtig gewees het. As hy onder R183 begin beweeg, sal ek bekommerd raak dat Astral Foods net te hard gehardloop het. En nou wil ek sê, hierdie grafiek is eintlik, kan ons sê, spreekwoordelik van baie ander grafieke, soos Omnia, al daai spelers rondom, en selfs van die koöperasie aandele, het baie hard gehardloop. So ek sal net sê, pas op vir hierdie sterk lopies. As hy bo hierdie R193 vlak breek, ja, dan kan hy nog al die pad gaan na R200 toe, maar na hierdie pragtige lampolformasie is ek bekommerd dat hy dalk hier kan breek, want waar skop die dubbelhoogte eintlik eers in? 'n Dubbelhoogte skop eers in wanneer hy hierdie laagtepunt gaan uithaal. En dis 'n hele end hier vanaf, en dit is R134, maar my eerste waarskuwing sal daar onder 123 wees. So hou dit in gedagte, as jy voedselaandele het, en dat jy dink hulle kan net bly styg in hierdie omgewing van stygende pryse, wees versigtig, hy kan jou dalk net verbaas. Al besoek gerus ons webtuiste www.franseklerk.com vir meer inligting en ons gesels weer.
Ek is Anje, Erasmus, streekskoördineerder in die oostelike streek vir Aartappel SA. Vir die eerste 22 weke van 2022 is daar ongeveer 45,9 miljoen 10 kg aartappelsakkies verkoop, wat beteken dat ongeveer 13,000 interlink trokke na die markte toegery het. Met genoegsame lewering aan die markte is ons 1,5 miljoen 10 kg sakkies onder die 5 jaar gemiddeld vir die eerste 22 weke van die jaar. Die gemiddelde prys vir hierdie tydperk is R2,75 meer as die vorige jaar en was R41,13 per 10 kg sakkie oor alle klasse en groottes. Indien ons kyk na die gemiddelde weeklikse prys, het week 22 van 2022 se gemiddelde weeklikse prys geëindig op R44,02 per 10 kg sakkie, wat 3% hoër is as die vorige week. Tot dusver vertoon die prys steeds 'n opwaartse tendens vanaf die middel van Januarie 2022. In die laaste 3 weke was daar wisselende pryse sigbaar, met 'n effens hoër prys in week 22 in vergelyking met week 20 en 21. In Mei 2022 was die gemiddelde daaglikse voorraadvlakke op die varsprodukte markte ongeveer 900,579 10 kg sakkies per dag, wat hoër is as April se gemiddelde daaglikse voorraadvlakke, en was ook ongeveer 127,000 sakkies meer as 2021 se gemiddelde vir dieselfde maand. Die gemiddelde daaglikse prys gedurende Mei 2022 het gewissel tussen R38,18 en R48,95 per 10 kg sakkie en het 'n groter variasie getoon as in 2021 vir dieselfde tydperk. Die totale lewerings aan die varsprodukte markte vir Mei 2022 was ongeveer 8,5 miljoen 10 kg sakkies. Die streke wat gedurende Mei die varsprodukte markte met die meeste aartappels voorsien het, is naamlik Oos-Vrystaat, Wes-Vrystaat, Noord-Kaap, Noordwes en KwaZulu-Natal. Van die top 5 streke was die Noord-Kaap die enigste streek wat sy aflewerings drasties verhoog het vanaf April tot Mei met meer as 150%. Indien ons kyk hoe die klasverspreiding gedurende Mei gelyk het, sal daar gesien word dat klas 1 72,2% uitgemaak het, wat 'n 0,3% verlaging is teenoor April se 72,5%. Klas 2 se verspreiding het onveranderd gebly op 18,4%, terwyl klas 3 met 0,5% verhoog het na 8,9%. Gedurende Mei het groot en groot medium aartappels steeds rondom 60% van die verkope op alle markte verteenwoordig. Groot aartappels se verkope het met 1% verlaag na 27% toe, terwyl die verkope van groot medium aartappels egter onveranderd op 32% gebly het. Medium en klein medium aartappels se verkooppersentasies het met 1% gestyg, waar die verkope van klein en baba aartappels klein verandering getoon het. Vir die eerste 3 maande van 2022 was die verkope elke maand bo die 9 miljoen 10 kg sakkie merk, maar het gedurende April en Mei onder die 9 miljoen merk inbeweeg. In Mei het die verkope op 8,9 miljoen 10 kg sakkies geëindig, wat ongeveer 106,000 sakkies meer is as in April. Mei se verkope is 779,000 10 kg sakkies onder die 5 jaar gemiddelde verkope vir dieselfde maand. Die daaglikse verkope was gemiddeld 383,000 10 kg sakkies tydens Mei 2022, wat ongeveer 2,510 kg sakkies meer is as die vorige jaar se gemiddeld. Die Oos-Vrystaat was die markleier gedurende Mei met 34% markaandeel en het in Mei 2,7 miljoen sakkies verkoop. Tot op datum het Oos-Vrystaat 12,2 miljoen 10 kg sakkies verkoop, wat 1,4 miljoen 10 kg sakkies minder is as hul 5 jaar gemiddeld. Wes-Vrystaat was die tweede grootste streek gedurende Mei en het 29% markaandeel geniet. Hierdie streek het gedurende Mei 2,3 miljoen sakkies verkoop. Tot op datum is 8 miljoen 10 kg sakkies verkoop, wat 228,000 sakkies minder is as hul 5 jaar gemiddeld. Noordwes het slegs 9% van die verkope op die mark verteenwoordig, maar het tot op datum 5.8 miljoen sakkies verkoop, wat 1.6 miljoen meer is as die streekse 5 jaar gemiddeld vir dieselfde tydperk.
BKB, die betroubare tuiste van landbou. BKB, the trusted home of agriculture.